All right. Welcome to the housing conversation. Local markets, real lives, better decisions. That's Jake Johnson. I'm Brian Smyth, mortgage and realtor. What's happening, Jake? My real estate advisor and phenom.
Hey man, spring is here. That is for sure. Even though it's cold, but I'll take it. It's that time of year where things start to thaw, and that includes buyers and sellers coming to the market. And also check your basements. More to come on that in a minute here. But yes, spring is definitely here. Let's go.
Oh, all
Oh yeah.
right. Well, so you're seeing spring.
Yeah.
People are out there. I had somebody ask me this week, is it a seller's market or a buyer's market?
Ooh, good
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, I said I think well, I'll let you go. What do you think?
Yeah. I think it's a more balanced market than we've seen in, well, I've only been in the industry 5.5 years. My wife works in title, so she's seen it for like 14 years. But I see it as more balanced than I've ever seen it before.
Hmm.
There's still not enough inventory, and that's not going to change. So, but I think what you're seeing is patience and patience of buyers and sellers. If it's not the perfect offer, sellers are like, I'll wait. And if it's not the perfect house, buyers are like, I'll wait. And that's good, right? Like it's a huge decision. I would much rather have to work with a client for 6 weeks or 6 months. It doesn't matter to me and feel really good about the purchase than like 2 weekends, super pressured. We have to buy this. We have to like, it's a huge decision. We should have time to think and feel great about the offer. And I explain it this way. You and I work on referral. So like if people don't like their house, they don't care about the house. They care about the guys that were like, it's a good idea. That's us. So like it's
Yeah,
gotta be a good fit. That's how I would.
I definitely want people telling a good, happy story at the end. It's a
Yes.
big deal. It's a big milestone life moment. Got to be doing it right. I do.
Mhm.
I like I like what you said there, balanced market. I think it's in an interesting spot where it's shifting, and it depends.
Yeah,
I think balance is an interesting way of saying it because it's not easy to describe in that there are some parts of different cities that it's one versus the other.
for sure.
It's
Yeah.
not a one size fits all situation out there right now.
Mhm.
And people have good buying power and people have,
Yeah.
valuable property. And you got to find, as it always is, you got to find the middle ground. You got to find who wants to buy the house that you're trying to sell and cover the right amount of money. And yeah, they're out there. Deals are plentiful,
Mhm.
and a lot of business is happening. But it's a different ask. It balances. I would agree. I like how you put that. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I've got yeah, we're waiting on news again as usual. Mortgage side. It's just
Mhm.
how are rates? Rates are the way they've been.
Yeah.
This is where we're at. They're changing daily, and every morning I wake up and kind of go, I wonder what anyone is going to say or who's going to do what, where, and we're going to find out what the impact
Oh yeah.
was.
Mhm.
I was just saying the other day, I kind of got annoyed at the direction of rate, and I went, oh, it's
Mhm.
Europe. Europeans did it. So it's not always even just the American economy, it's the global economy that kind of drives this stuff. And
Mhm.
it's important to remember, and I think important to know that you can, control what you can control.
Mhm.
Do
That is the
not
truth
try
right
to
there.
control the uncontrollable and manage life around it.
That is the truth.
That
That
might
is the
be
truth.
that's maybe my hot take of the week, my tip of
Ha!
the early. Well,
Yeah,
refer back to that. But what do
definitely.
you got? What do you have out in the real world? What's happening? What's happening in the market? What's happening for you? What are you seeing boots on the ground?
Yeah, I mean, I see more and more of those normal conversations. Hey, is it a good time to buy or sell? Let's look at your situation. Like maybe you do need to buy, maybe you don't. We're dealing with right now a very active selling situation. My mother-in-law passed away about 6 months ago, and so we're
Yeah,
selling her home. That goes on the market next week. And as both an agent and kind of a client on the same transaction, it's different, right?
sure.
Because at one moment you're like, well, this is a family home, and the next moment I'm like, so that we should do
Hmm.
those things. But one of the cool things about the house is like it gives you a chance to get better at having those conversations. Um, And the house is in great shape, right? We're not going to fix. There's nothing that needs to be fixed, nor do they want
Mhm.
to fix anything. The one thing though is that like over time, painting has been done,
Yep.
and my father-in-law was awesome and super detail oriented. But as he got a little older and was retired, he's like, I could spend time painting, or I could spend time doing anything else. Totally fair,
Sure.
right? So like at the seams, there's a couple different colors up there, and one of them is not on the wall, and one of them was on the wall. But so we found a great painter to come in and kind of make everything white basically on the first floor. It's just
Okay.
so much brighter in those rooms, and most of those rooms are this home was built in 2000, so a lot of them have one big ceiling light in the middle, maybe a can light somewhere else. But so whitening up the room makes it super bright, and so really excited to see how much that changes the feel of the home.
Probably feels
Some of the rooms that
bigger,
are,
I would imagine.
yeah, yeah, it's gonna make the
Gray
rooms feel
isn't the deal
bigger.
anymore. I feel like when I was selling my last house, I was gray. Is it that we're back to white?
I think the cool thing about white and the way we use it is it's an open canvas, right? So when a
Mhm.
house is empty and vacant, which this one is, and it's completely emptied out now, going white makes it feel like, cool, you can do whatever you want here. You want to paint that wall pink? Go
Right.
nuts. You want to paint that wall orange? You want to hang cool paintings there? You want to turn things? It lets you envision it as your home as opposed to a house that someone else lived in. So it's really cool to see that switch over. And yeah, it makes everything look bigger and brighter, and just another layer of freshness. So, what I always tell people, and it's not a hot take, but there's a lot of ways you can spend your money getting a house ready for market.
Yeah.
If your house hasn't been painted in a long time, a refresh of the house is going to go so far in not only bringing eyeballs to it, photographs better, but also just feels like a better product for you to put out there to the market. And in some ways, a home is a representation of you. So why not put your best foot forward? Um, Note on that, a lot of times painters will get paid at closing, so you can not have to pay anything until it sells.
Oh,
But just talk to your painter about it up front because they'll figure it out. Ours is going to do that too, which is great. So
that's awesome. The old lien waiver.
exactly,
What about staging? Are you staging that property or are you leaving it
we're
empty, empty?
great question. So we went back and forth on that. We're going to virtually stage two rooms.
Okay.
So the primary bedroom is going to virtually stage, and the living room is going to get virtually staged, and everything else is going to be left. It's kind of cool in that sense because there was one of the rooms could be a bedroom. It was being used as an office primarily, but they
Hmm.
can be used either way. So leaving it blank and open is like, well, what do you want to make of it? Could it be a bedroom?
Right.
Could it be an office? The primary bedroom is pretty set in stone because there's an ensuite. But I mean, if you wanted to make it a home office with an ensuite, I think about it, if there was someone where someone was running a home business or the husband and wife both worked at the same business and they needed a big office area, that could work.
Right.
So I always like to leave them as blank as possible when it's vacant. Now, if it was not the situation and someone had moved out already, but we could bring in some big furniture to make a room feel smaller or bigger, however we want to do it, we would. But in this, it's a standard ranch home. Virtual staging will go a long way because it helps people envision things.
Yep.
But also then when they come through, they can be like, oh, I would not do that. I will do this. And I'm like, great, you can. That's the magic.
When you do virtual staging, so you're
Uh-huh.
doing staging for photo, like in just adding into a photo, right? That's
Yeah.
not like a full, like when you get there, it's an empty room. Do
Yep.
you bring photos of what the virtual staging is and maybe put them into that room, or do you leave that to the imagination fully?
I trust my photographers always to
Mhm.
do that. But what's cool about that is that they'll take one photo of it empty, and then they'll take a virtually staged photo. And so you put them next to each other on the MLS so that you can see, hey, here's a blank, and here's what it could look like if you did these things. And that helps people see kind of spatially how big a room is,
Yeah.
where things fit, all that kind of stuff. So I
Well,
always do both.
when you do it, do you like throw the photo on an easel in the room so that they see the
No, but that's a
stage
great. I have
totally
seen that
together?
actually we did that on a home I helped sell. There was a big renovation option. It was like, cool, this house is X. You got to renovate the whole thing. It'll be worth it because you'll have a 4,000 square foot lake house, but
Yeah.
you're gonna put some money into it. So I had a designer redesign the whole first level. Like, hey, here's how we could do it. Here's where the kitchen would be. And so that helped a lot. People are like, oh, it
Yeah.
could be done. I'm like, damn.
Here's here's a thing. There can be, and
Mm-hmm.
but it's not so overbearing that it's there.
Yeah.
So that's a cool deal. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, for
Well,
sure.
good luck in the market, and
Thanks.
I hope it sells in the exact right amount of time for the proper amount of money.
There you go. Exactly. The right amount of time, right amount of money.
Bringing it back. Myths, I think that's kind of it. Do you need to have it staged or not staged? I think it matters. I think that
Yeah.
kind of my feeling on that is learning here. You're
Hmm.
kind of telling me that it depends on the house, it depends on the room,
Does.
it depends on the market, right? So you
Yeah.
kind of, yeah, that's in,
Well, and a lot of times with staging is what will you do is utilize the stuff you already have, right? Like, so you have your room set up for how you live. I'm going to move things around to make it look more open and inviting to someone. And the key example is like living rooms or TV areas where you're like, okay, we set up to watch TV. And I'm like, yeah, but what if someone didn't have one? Or what if they moved it out and it wasn't on? So we're going to move things so there's more walkways and it feels bigger and more open or tighter if that's what we need. And a lot of times for staging, it's super simple stuff, but change out your curtains from whatever color you have to white so it just shows bigger. If you're hanging
Mhm.
curtains, put them on the outsides of the windows as opposed to inside of the windows. It sounds silly, but there's a window behind me. So if I put it here as
Yeah.
opposed to here, my window gets bigger. Same
Would
window.
you be doing that as a design choice anyway? Or is
Yeah,
it, right? That's
for
kind
sure.
of, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's always
Yeah, you
funny
definitely could.
because, here's your hot take. Once you finish setting your house up to sell, you're gonna miss it.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
why didn't we
that
do
happens
this
all the
10 years
time.
ago?
Hmm. I've had clients do that who are like, "Do we have to move?" I'm like, "You signed this contract, yes."
Yeah. Remember to do the stuff in your house that you wanted to do. Don't wait and make it your
Yeah.
own, right? Buy the house,
Mhm.
make it your own, live in it, love it. I think that's my hot take of the week.
Here's one for you, Brian. When you're doing with homes that need renovation, right? Like as far as you're doing a loan, hey, we know we need to renovate this basement space. For appraisers, are they looking at post renovation value or current value, especially if that renovation is not getting done before closing, right? Like it's, hey, we should redo that bathroom. It doesn't have to get redone, but we're going to. How do you cross that conversation and bridge with clients?
The value does not exist until it's there.
Okay, it's a
The
good way to look at it.
depth of that conversation immediately goes to what's the loan program you're working with? Is it a renovation
Uh-huh.
loan versus are you buying a conventional? And so I could buy it conventionally and be planning on doing the bathroom in the basement and then not do the bathroom in the basement. And then the value isn't there correctly,
Yeah.
right? When you're doing a renovation loan, you got to use things like we're going to do the kind of the concierge. You got somebody who's working through, you got your quotes, you got your licensed,
Mm-hmm.
bonded, insured, contractors
Yep.
with the money held aside that they're paying it instead of here's your lump sum of money to get your renovation done. So there's a much more, it's a good question because I often come into that where people are like, well, I want a renovation loan. I go, there's much more control
Mm-hmm.
from outside of you when you're doing your renovation
That's a
versus
good. Mhm.
you can do your own renovation. I don't care if Uncle Larry does it if you're using your own money and it's after my closing. I
Sure.
need it not to be your Uncle Larry when
Mm-hmm.
you're doing a renovation loan. It's got to be through all the hoops and all the follow the guidelines and do all the things. So
Got it. That makes a lot of
a
sense.
roundabout way,
Yeah.
you gotta it's a snapshot in time, really. So you gotta make sure that you've got that's what a mortgage world is. It's we take a picture
Mm-hmm.
of what things look like right now, and then we base a bunch of judgments on it and lend money based on those factors.
That snapshot in time makes a lot of sense in my head. People use that when an inspection goes on, right? And the inspector's
Mhm.
like, "This is a snapshot today. Does your fridge fail tomorrow? I don't know, but it didn't fail the
Maybe.
day when I did the inspection." But that makes total sense about the renovation thing. In the future, great. Doesn't help current you, so you can't worry about it. That's
Right. The
helpful.
same as like, well, I'm supposed to get a raise in 2 weeks. It's like,
Yep.
well, talk to me in 2 weeks, or
Yeah.
have your boss write me a letter that says that's happening. We're not doing it based on,
Oh yeah.
long gone are the days where we can just take you at your word on, I'm going to make $1 million next year.
Right. Which is good, right? Like we
Yeah.
want that. That's important that you guys aren't just like, here's this loan. You could possibly be able to afford it. Won't that be
This
great?
this is definitely worth that. No, we want to make sure that we're covering our bases and we're doing today's work today. And
Yep.
if you need to revisit it, we come back and do it in the future with you.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, good question. I like that. I went and watching the Brewers are playing great. Went on a
Nice.
road trip with my son. We saw the Brewers playing Kansas City. So I wear my Brewers hat. What kind of animal is always at the World Series?
I don't know.
A bat. Oh man, yeah. This so, to go off the back of that, did you see
I
what
love it. It's great.
Murphy did with the Brewers? Pocket pancakes were a no-no this year. He was told not to do that, so he brought a turtle. You know,
So
like
live
that
animals we're good with,
live
but
animal. He
breakfast
was
food not
like,
allowed.
he's like, so I
Cool.
brought you this, and it's a turtle. She goes, what am I supposed to keep this? He goes, yeah, good luck flying home. It was a funny. It
That's
was
awesome.
ridiculous enough that I started to wonder if that was AI. So
That's
this is
great.
a conversation maybe for another. What is and isn't AI is maybe a conversation for
Right?
another
That's
day.
still awesome that that's a thing.
It was out there. No pocket pancakes, but I brought you a pocket turtle. So it was good.
Oh, that's awesome.
So go Brewers.
Yep.
And with that, I think it's a quick one today, I feel like, but uh quick trip sign off, not a sponsor. Filled up their bunch back and forth on my road trip
Oh
though.
yeah, I bet.
Uh oh yeah, I don't know. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.